guys, it's Kimora Davis.
It's Sterling Atkins Dutro.
And today we are back with another Handle with Care podcast. Today we have Dr. Ann Bond. She's the Director of Special Education, and she's a school-based social emotional learning director.
Hi, everyone. My name's Ann Bond. I am the Director of Special Education and Director of School-Based SEL for Peoria Public Schools.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
You're welcome.
Why did you decide your current role?
So I have been in education for a long time. I really just wanted to serve kids and families and the community. And so my current role sort of found me. So I was principal before I was in this role and was asked to kind of transition into a role that looks to support students who have some special needs. And it felt like such a great fit for me and gave me a new way of serving our families and our kids in ways that I hadn't done before. So that's why I'm in the role I'm in now.
What school were you at? Were you a principal at?
So I was at Franklin Primary School.
Oh.
And then prior to that, Valeska Hinton, Early
nice.
Childhood Center.
That's why she looked familiar. I
Yeah.
was in Valeska.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So we probably have ran into each other at some point.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you've had a long career in education. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure. So I went to Bradley, and when I was at Bradley, I did my undergraduate work here in Peoria Public Schools, this is like in the 90s, and then moved into being a teacher at Valeska Hinton and just kind of continued in different roles there. I was a professional development coordinator, and I was director of early childhood for the district. At the time, we had early childhood classrooms out in primary schools. Franklin had a pre-K, and different schools had pre-Ks, and then we also had Valeska Hinton. I was early childhood special ed coordinator for a while, and then was principal of Valeska Hinton, and then principal of Franklin, and now I'm in this role.
What is social emotional learning to you, and why do you believe it's needed?
So there are a lot of ideas on what social emotional learning is in our community and in our world, quite frankly. So for me, what I see it as really understanding who we are as individuals, really understanding kind of our emotions and where we're at in a given space at a given time. It's also about understanding those that are around us and how we connect with those people, how we build relationships with them, how we collaborate with them. It's really that space coming together. That's what I see social emotional learning being.
Can you tell us a little bit about your work with the SEL committee? What resources and strategies you use to help staff apply these concepts?
Yes, absolutely. So I have the experience of working with an SEL committee like in individual school buildings, but I also have the opportunity to serve with a larger SEL team too. So we have a district-wide SEL team, and there are staff members from every single school building on this team. It's primarily certified staff, but there are some other people on it as well. This team really looks at different angles as it relates to social emotional learning. So they look at things like adult SEL and how we as adults are taking care of ourselves, because if we're not taking care of ourselves in a healthy way, it's sometimes challenging to help support and take care of others. There's a team that works on that. There's a team that works on like a tier 1 curriculum. We use 7 mindsets this year is what we started using, and there's a team that researched that and came forward with that information. There's a team that's focused on family and community and how those pieces interact with SEL. And so anyway, my role on that team is really to facilitate that work. It's to support them in the work that they're doing and to kind of guide them, and then take the pieces that they do in their teams and bring it back to the schools.
Those are the posters that are on school, right?
Yeah.
The 7 mindsets. That's what I thought.
So with the loss of ESSER funds, how will it affect SEL?
I don't know that it's going to dramatically impact anything that we're currently doing in our schools. So much of what we're doing right now really is rooted in relationships that we have with each other, and that doesn't cost anything. I think we'll be just fine, quite honestly. And the areas that do require some additional funding to support it, such as a curriculum, there's other funding sources for that, and there's always grant opportunities as well that can support those pieces.
What have you seen students struggling with the most?
So it's kind of a wide range. In my different roles I've been in, I've seen 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, all the way through high schoolers. So to say have I seen them struggle with the most kind of varies. Kind of varies on the age, and it kind of varies even in the year. Sometimes there's years that are just maybe a little more challenging than others. Right now I'm seeing a lot of anxiety with kids, even with our little kids. A lot of challenges just connecting with other people and expressing their needs and wants in ways that is healthy for them. And that's kind of spanning a lot of age ranges. Being able to express when something doesn't feel right. I'm maybe mad about something. I'm maybe upset about something. I'm anxious about something. And being able to share that in a way that is, in a healthy way.
Is there anything you want to leave with the audience?
I would just want our audience to know that we have just an absolutely tremendous district full of kids and families who are really working hard to kind of understand themselves and understand the world around them. And we have staff members in all sorts of different roles throughout our district that really contribute to that in a healthy, positive way and support our kids and families and support each other as adults. I just think that's so important for us to realize and remember, because sometimes those pieces can get lost in the news or just the current narrative that's being talked about or whatever. So I think it's important for us to always keep that at the forefront.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. Thank you for listening to the Handle with Care podcast. We hope this episode gave you a better understanding of what students and staff may be going through and ways to support them. Remember, you never know what the person next to you is going through. If this episode resonated with you and you need resources but are not quite sure where to find them, they are located on the same page as the podcast.